The colors, the tones are cool, mixed with some golden tones, really pale lilac silver interpretations in that. So really working with a nice contrast between your whites and your golden blondes.
With Celeste, the whole idea being, in terms of the shape, is that the whole idea of it is inspiration of the future. That's what it is. It's like NASA Couture. And what I find really interesting about that is the ability to play with new shapes. And that's why, you know, we were talking earlier today, you know, which trend you gravitate to, because everybody sort of has a trend that they gravitate to. For me, it's Celeste because I like the idea of playing with different types of shapes. I like the idea of going in and creating, you know, some kind of a haircut and putting like some kind of a strong shape and fusing textures together and working with color. So that is what inspired me to work with Celeste as a trend. Just about finished here. And all I'm doing here is I'm just taking a little bit of our firm hairspray and just really shaping this up. I just use a small barrel curling iron to tighten this up a little bit at the bottom and give me some support. And we'll just build out the shape this way. Keep that nice and flat in through the top.
So this is my model, Roxy. And this is interesting because different than Diego, this probably wouldn't be one of the trends that I picked, because I usually go for, you know, the hardcore lines and the whole thing. But the thing that was interesting for me, so how could I take Roxy, which is 70s inspired, you know, disco inspired, that whole 70s era, that's why I got my velvet jacket on today.
Very 70s.
I'm feeling very Roxy. So what I decided to do is I was going to go in a route of like a shag kind of vibe. So the way I did this is to create, I didn't cut any outline shape at all. What I did was I cut a channel straight through the whole haircut. Right through the whole back, there's like a panel. There's like a channel cut right through the whole center. So the whole bottom is flattened out, and the top is pretty short with this panel that goes all the way. Just from, you know, combining different textures and cutting that channel through, you get that really airy vibe going through the haircut. So it's like, it's my little spin on Roxy. And the thing, again, with Trend Vision, is it pushes you in a way, like how was I going to take fine hair, you know, make it look 70s influenced, and make it fit in the model. That's how that whole thing really works, and it really pushes you.
It's not so much about the contrast in color, yet it's how they harmonize beautifully. So you'll see here, I've got lots of stuff going on in here. I'll try to explain what I've got happening. Number one is we took her hair. She's just about shoulder length. Very fine hair, by the way. We put some hair pieces in there. And then I created, if you just turn around for me, in the back here, just put your head forward. I took all the little hair underneath, and I created almost like a faux bob underneath, okay? And curled it with different size curling irons. And now I'm going to work those curls just a little bit. I've got some Smooth Brilliance, which I'm going to place in the back of my hand. Okay? Take some of that Smooth Brilliance. And I'm just going to work these bits in the front. So I created some finger waves throughout the top area. You can see how they're just moving into this front area. And this is a shape that's referred to kind of in the competition arena as the cavallo. And it's basically the shape of a saddle with some pompadour effect in the front. And I thought for Grace it would be just absolutely ideal. So a little throwback from the early 80s in the shape, but then with the curls and just the products that we have. The new Wella styling line allows us to finish hair in so many different ways and add so many different textures. So I'm just going to open that up a little bit, and with my fingers, accentuate that shape. Now, I don't think we have any dynamic fix, but I'm going to use Stay Firm as I'm working this, and I'll ask her to turn for me. And then what I love as well is with the Trend Grace is adding softness, adding some sheen. And you can see right at the top of the head, I added a little accent with bobby pins just on the top, a little semicircle. And that's just to accentuate my dips and my valleys and all that. So this is Grace, and I'm going to ask Carrera to come and talk about the color.
The thing with Grace is it's very tonal. That's the one thing I love about this, is it's really salon friendly. It's something that you guys can all take to your salons and do on an everyday client, because without having a huge contrast in colors, we're working with a nice golden blonde and maybe mixing it with a one shade lighter or maybe the same level, but just doing a very different tones. So I have a variation of some very cool level 7s under here, mixed with the 9 golden through the top, and pre-lightened an area through here in a circular section. So it's really just a series of back-to-back foils in through this area to give it a little bit of depth and dimension, and just toning it with a level 9 gold. So it's really a mixture of combinations of cools and warms in the same level palette.
This is my inspiration for Blaze. Blaze is, of all the trends, the strongest of the trends. Blaze is all about that really strong self-confidence, that Latin influence, the strong color palettes of violets and pinks and deep reds. I decided that to do a really strong orbital shape on this. So I just went in with some nice clean graduation and built up a shape and went into a round perimeter, and decided to go in and cut a really strong arced fringe. I'm also going to finish. Do you have that thing? I do. I'm going to put a little bit of shimmer delight. Again, for myself, it's all about the contrast of textures. That's always something that really appeals to me. I went in with a micro crimper internally just to expand out the form and give me that nice, orbital shape. And I'm going to use a little bit of shimmer delight now and really just hit this whole fringe area.
Combinations are your fuchsias and your really dark panel. What I've done here is I've pre-lightened this veil area here and just went in with a combination of our pure pink mixed tone with Wella and alternated it with a violet mixed tone. So on top of it, you don't necessarily see a really heavy contrast between the pink and the purple, but diffusing it together just gives it a really nice shine line. And there's nothing better to me than the Wella reds. I am obsessed with all the Wella reds. So of course I had to sneak in a little bit of the red. So I've worked with our level 4 intense red violet as her base, but added a little bit of an ash tone into it to kind of cool it down a tiny bit, so it wouldn't be necessarily a red contrast with the pink.